Before we get into what Trisha says next, I want to remind you of Tati's video from last year, where she said in this video that Shane was in her ear telling her about James Charles.
Right now, Trisha's brand is cancel culture. She thrives off of cancel culture.
And said that Shane and Jeffree put a wedge between her and James Charles' friendship. But I just want you to focus on the part where, like, Shane is in her ear talking about how bad James Charles is and all this stuff.
I've had a theory for a while now about the TATI WESTBROOK lawsuit. It all has to do with the return of Tati. So I'm going to explain Dramageddon. Also, the new insanity going on with Trisha Paytas and the SUEnami. May 10th of 2019, TATI WESTBROOK posts a Bye Sister YouTube video. It's where she cuts off ties with James Charles. The veteran beauty guru was close with James since the beginning of his career, but decided to cut ties over an ad that he did on his Instagram stories with Sugar Bear Hair. It was a vitamin company that rivaled Tati. She got upset after hearing the news. She owns her own vitamin brand, Halo Beauty. She posted an Instagram story talking about how mad she was over a friend using another brand's product. James then publicly apologized. Tati was not ready to forgive him, because in the video, Tati discussed the incident and why she felt so hurt by his actions. She said this: "He had 9 days after Coachella to talk to me. He knows where I live. It's not far from him. He could have come face to face and chatted with me because he knows that this would hurt me." James Charles responded saying that he was on her side. Tati also said the only reason she made the video is because Gabrielle Zamora called her out on it and she wanted to tell her side of the story. Tati accused James of what she called disgusting behavior, claiming that he tried to manipulate somebody sexually, using his celebrity status to hit on a straight man. She said, "You were talking in detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter, and when I said, 'James, he's straight,' your response was, 'It doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity.'" Tati told viewers that she called all of her guests the next morning to apologize on James' behalf because it was so uncomfortable. In the video, she talked about cutting off her ties with James Charles for good. So then on May 10th of 2019, James Charles posts an apology video, but it didn't go over that well. And essentially, this is what caused Dramageddon. After it all died down, Tati posted a tweet saying, "There won't be a video tomorrow. My heart is still too heavy. I feel like I need to remind you that we can hold truth and inspire change without grabbing on to hate. Honor your blessings. Do not abuse them. Celebrating pain will only bring it to your door. Love you. See you soon." Then on May 13th, another influencer leaks the Sugar Bear Hair texts. Jeffree took Tati's side in the feud, and other beauty vloggers came forward to defend James. Gabrielle Zamora defended James, and Nikita Dragon posted receipts of her own. On Twitter, she shared the Coachella text between she and James, which confirmed that James's story was absolutely true. He was getting attacked by fans in the VIP section and basically just had to use Sugar Bear Hair because they were available. May 15th, 2019, the waiter posts his own video. Not long later, the waiter apologized for the video and admitted to leading James Charles on, which all contributed to this dying down and the hate that James was receiving, turning into people being compassionate. Tati then posts a second video after seeing James Charles' response from the community. Tati uploaded another about a week later, discussing the impact the first video had. She said, "When I made the video, I thought it would be the one that would take a hit. I thought I was going against millions of people and I might separate part of the internet. My 5 million subscribers would be affected and I would be the one losing subs for speaking up. And I was going against somebody with a lot more power." She said, "I knew this would cause a lot of controversy, but I didn't think I would get to this magnitude. I didn't think it was possible." After thanking her fans, Tati urged them to not attack James. May 18th, James finally posts a second video. James posted his own 40-minute YouTube video addressing everything. It was titled No More Lies. James went through what went down that infamous Coachella weekend, claiming that Sugar Bear Hair did in fact come to his rescue despite Tati's accusations that he planned the deal weeks in advance. James provided screenshots and receipts, and it shifted the entire story. June 30th, TATI Westbrook recounts her accusations and blames Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. It's been over a year since Dramageddon, but the vloggers are still going. TATI returned to YouTube with another explosive video telling fans that she made her Bye Sister video as a result of the poisonous lies that were fed to her by Shane and Jeffree. TATI claimed that bringing down James Charles became an obsession for Jeffree, and she believes he and Shane used her as a weapon against her friend. Back in 2019, Jeffree started talking a lot more crap about James than usual. It seemed that doing so had become his biggest obsession. It started with him telling me right before filming our collab for James' channel that James actually didn't want me there, that he wanted Nikki instead. But Jeffree said he'd had my back, TATI told the viewers. Things further escalated at my birthday. Every time James Charles' back was turned, Jeffree would tell me James was out of control. He even texted and called me on the following morning to apologize for James' behavior at my dinner and how embarrassed he was for me. As the weeks went by, every time I saw or spoke with Jeffree, it seemed to me that James was all he wanted to talk about. Jeffree eventually connected TATI with his best friend Shane. TATI told viewers Shane came to her home and spent hours telling her horrific allegations about James Charles. When the time came to film her Bye Sister video, she claims Shane offered to edit and title it for her. June 30th, Shane responds accusing TATI Westbrook of lying. Minutes after TATI posted her video, Shane and his fiancée Rylan began making public statements. "Oh my God, you're so manipulative," Shane screamed. "You're fake crying, you're fake crying. This is not real, oh my God." TATI's video came days after Shane himself put out a statement claiming that he did not plan Dramageddon. In the same post, he condemned the internet's treatment of James Charles but praised TATI's takedown. He said, "Do I think James was a young, egocentric, power-hungry guru who needed to be served a slice of humble pie the size of the fucking Empire State Building? Yes," Shane wrote. And in the end of all of this, it leads to TATI stopping her YouTube channel's postings. Shane actually went silent a while later too. So after this whole mess, everybody pretty much knows that TATI, working with James, Jeffree, and Shane, they all helped each other raise higher on the YouTube ladder. Bye Sister not only fractured a friend group, it cost each person groups of viewers. And when it happens, it obviously costs money also. TATI and James Charles' audience were both pulled to different sides of YouTube depending on who they supported. And of course, each YouTuber has their own merch, appearances, makeup lines, vitamins, and shirts. As I said earlier, TATI realized where she messed up after James responded with his video. She apologized to James, but the damage was already done. A lot of the viewer base held on to how messed up the whole situation was and took it personally too. They look at each of these influencers as their own friends, and they back them with their views, support, and money. A lot of them thought of TATI as petty to do what she did to James. Also, TATI outed Shane and Jeffree as liars and manipulators according to her. Of course, Shane responded, as I told you earlier, posting that she was a liar. The way I saw it, after all was said and done, TATI was out on an island without James' support and without Shane and Jeffree's either. They turned on her, and all of them, their friend group, all of it was fractured, and so was the money they made from each other. So let's go into some of my criticisms of the issue. TATI was mad over James sharing another brand, which basically comes down to James' followers choosing another company over TATI's company. TATI handled it by calling him out, which is fine in my opinion. It's kind of how business relationships work. Though Tati quickly threw out rumors and a bunch of unconfirmed things from behind the scenes. The YouTube community knew that this was messed up, and this is where the majority of the hate against Tati comes from this situation, because it seemed bloodthirsty or even cutthroat. That is, if the rumors that you're throwing out aren't based on anything factual, and as you heard, they were not. It wasn't hard at all for James to break it all down and provide receipts to show that people were saying about him was not true. And the biggest question that has come up again this week is, where did Tati get the information from? Originally, James kept the information between him and the waiter private when it happened, which is pretty reasonable, but obviously somebody near James was shit-talking him about the situation. Tati claimed in her video that it was Shane and Jeffree that did this, mostly Jeffree, but still. Most people did not believe Tati back then, and James and Jeffree both responded calling Tati a liar and fully ending their relationships with her. You know this, but in case you didn't, one of Jeffree and Shane's best friends, Trisha Paytas, just came out this week saying exactly what Tati said back then, just now saying it about Shane and Jeffree. She said that they were mean, that they were petty rumor spreaders. Trisha Paytas has given several TikTok and YouTube videos, one within the last day even, and all of that seems to back up TATI Westbrook's original claims. Something else Trisha said really rang true for those that followed Dramageddon. She said that Shane fills his friends with rumors in the hopes that they'll make videos exposing the people that he talks about. This has caused a lot of people on Twitter and in the comments to start bringing up that if Trisha is telling the truth, so was Tati. I talked about this on a live stream last night. I showed some of the comments. But all this drama is now shifting back at Shane and Jeffree, and it sets the perfect stage for TATI Westbrook to make a return. Like I said, Tati stopped uploading after Bye Sister, but mostly after James came back and debunked the claims against him. Obviously, she knew that if she uploaded, she would face backlash from giant groups of her audience that are on James or Shane's side. The lawsuit that she's engaged in, the one between her and her ex-business partner, is a huge hurdle for Tati if she had ever decided to make a return to YouTube. When it first came out, it reinforced a lot of the feelings people have about Dramageddon toward Tati. The lawsuit did. Nowadays, you won't find many people caring about the Halo Beauty lawsuit. Why is that, you ask? Because of the drama that surrounds Tati's lawsuit against none other than Without a Crystal Ball, the topic we talked about the last few videos. When the lawsuit was announced against KJP, it took center stage in everyone's mind. Tati has over 9 million subs. KJP only has 140,000. So that in itself becomes newsworthy, though it's pretty rare for a YouTuber to be sued for defamation either way. Regardless of what Tati is suing for and what she plans to get out of the suit, the YouTube lawsuit takes the attention off the business lawsuit. It's possible that Tati didn't plan on any of this to happen, but since it's happening, it causes conspiracy theories to come up about the situation. What if Tati Westbrook knew that the Halo lawsuit would be bad for her reputation and filed the YouTube lawsuit at the same time to take attention away from the Halo suit? If this is true, then she would need a lot of drama and attention around the YouTube lawsuit for it to work. And that could explain why she chose to sue KJP. Because honestly, who did the most financial damage to Tati's brand? We've all heard people talk about how it's strange that she picked Without a Crystal Ball for the lawsuit, when the other people did way more damage to Tati back then from a monetary standpoint. This has been pushed to the background because of the extreme nature of KJP's deleted clips regarding Tati. I'm not going to play them again because I've already done it a few times on this channel. If somebody else could have caused more damage to Tati, it seems like she picked KJP for good reasons in the end. When you look at the clips, I mean. The drama still, though, is taking a lot of attention off the Halo lawsuit. What if Trisha Paytas coming out about Shane helps Tati? I'm not going to say that Trisha is doing what she's doing because she was asked to or put up to it. I don't believe that. It seems pretty extreme. I've heard several people say this, though, so that's why I brought it up. The timing of all of this is pretty weird, but if you think about why Trisha came out, it was because she was attacked by Jeffree's hairdresser. That fact kind of debunks the theory that Trisha came out for other reasons. I do think that Trisha's actions helped Tati shift the court of public opinion in her favor. With Shane and Jeffree being called out for the same things that Tati called them out for back then, it's already starting to change the viewers' minds. So this definitely creates the perfect opportunity for Tati to upload again. The third what if is mostly just an issue. Most people say that Tati won't return until the lawsuits have either died down or completely gone away. I disagree with this. Here's why. Tati could just come back and do what she always has done. Upload makeup videos, ignore all this stuff, and most likely would make millions of views per video. Her name is all over the place right now, and her enemies are looking worse and worse every day. It just creates the perfect opportunity, and it would be almost a wasted opportunity if she didn't come back. What if there is a team trying to set the stage for Tati to return? While I do fully believe Tati should be utilizing every resource right now to help her, I can't say whether or not certain things out there happen because Tati has a team fighting for her, but it does cross my mind, especially when I see a lot of YouTubers talk. Sometimes I ask myself this question: did Tati call them and ask them to do that video? But either way, it's something we'll never know. It's very common for social media influencers to use teams to repair reputations or guide them on how to maximize influence or even repair it. Just how much of the recent events relate to this, the world may never know. So another question people ask: should Tati still be canceled? Well, you most likely already know my take on this. I do not like cancel culture at all. I think people should have their opinion and do their own thing, and if they mess up, they're human. Obviously they will, but they will also have a loss on YouTube or social media due to whatever it is they mess up. So I do think cancel culture is just a messed up thing that happens when people form groups and let themselves be led by groupthink. But 100%, Tati should be able to upload and post videos. And the mistakes of the past should just be that, mistakes. If she shows that she can learn from them, then good. If she shows that she hasn't, people will stop watching. It's just a basic how the internet should work type of thing, right? But either way, it has all been so far removed and gone that yes, I think Tati should be able to make a comeback on YouTube. Pretty obvious. New information has just come out while I was finishing this up. There has been something new happening out there that's pretty disgusting. It's kind of weird because old videos of Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson hanging out with a 16-year-old influencer have surfaced. And they're doing a lot of things they shouldn't do around the 16-year-old. I saw the video, again, thanks to Backwoods Barbie. I know I shouted her out in my last video, but I can't help it. She finds all the good clips, so let's play it.
This is absolutely disgusting.
So this is Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas, Backwoods Barbie, right there. Take a look.
Of both Trisha and Shane to me.
Just get it, shove it.
Yeah, I'll show you later. I'll show you later.
Justin, let's see it. Justin, let's see it.
I know, I hate to say it, but you know, the young blood.
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I'm like,
What is your underwear? What is
oh, my
that?
God. Hot. Ooh.
Trees?
Watch out, Justin Bieber. Fucking.
I'm going to censor the rest of this and just let you get the end of Barbie's video.
It's absolutely disgusting. It's unexcusable behavior. That is disgusting.
I'm with you, Barbie. It's just messed up. So leave me down in the comments section below. What do you think about Tati Westbrook returning now? Do you think this is the perfect opportunity for her to come back now that some of the people who were her enemies or the people she butted heads with now are looking real bad, having all these dramas? Do you think it's the perfect time, or do you think I'm wrong on that? And tell me what you think about this new video of Trisha and Shane. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, or not if you don't want to. If you just want to watch, that's fine too. You can support me on PayPal, Patreon, and joining the channel. I'm out.